Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Here we go. Got to get my stuff up. Listen, there's some weirdnesses going on with the internet today, and I think it has to do something with Amazon. I don't quite understand, but I do see eyeballs, so that makes me happy. If at some point we get cut off, I'll figure out what we're gonna do. But there's some spooky stuff going on in the internet. So we have Mary Alice here from Pennsylvania and more people. And then John typically sends out a little email that reminds everybody to come on because I don't know about you, but I can't remember stuff. And we don't think it went out. So we'll figure out what to do because I am really, really excited about what I'm going to be presenting to you today. It's about my friend Katie Pasquini, of whom I've known forever. But while people are loading on, I'm working madly away at this Sue Spargo quilt. Again, I have never ever bought a pattern or a kit before. So I kind of feel like it's naughty or something, but I am enjoying the you know what out of it. I love everything about it. And I just finished Mr. Squirrel. Oh my God, it's so cute. I can't stand it. And if I don't say so myself. And oh, speaking of squirrel, you guys all know I'm really dear friends with Joanne Sharp, and she is going through some really treacherous medical things. Things are not yet settled down. If you want to know what's going on with Joanne Sharp, go to the MyFundMe, and her daughter Megan is keeping you up to date. But I think she's going in like this Wednesday for yet another procedure. It's a mess, people. It is a mess. Here's another one that I've done. But this squirrel made me think of Joanne. So, anyways, I think I've shown, oh no, I don't know that I've shown you Mr. Fox. I love this. And this is the book. The one thing that I can say about this particular project is, well, I didn't design it myself. I'm learning a lot. And what'll happen is I'll see a new stitch and then I've got to figure it out. I do have Sue's little book on how to do stitches, but it's all right-handed. But I might look at the stitch and then I go to my book that I love so much that's meant for left-handers. But also, yeah, also I'm going to Hawaii on Friday and to Kauai with my BFF. It's a girls' trip. And one of the other women I've met, and then two of them I have not met. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think it's supposed to be super rainy. So I'm preparing stuff to take with me to stitch. So we have Mr. Frog, and then I'm working on Mr. Owl to get that ready. And I'll put a bunch of threads in and all that. But, anyways, okay. Let's talk about Katie Lady, Katie Pasquini Massapus. Her husband passed, and now she is gone back to Katie Pasquini. I do want to tell you, and I'll tell you at the end, that we did a legend show on her. And the legend show is 2016. Katie has a Silver Star Award, and also she's in the Quilters Hall of Fame. And I am confident she's gotten many other awards too. What I want to say about Katie is that I have known her forever and ever and ever. In fact, my memory goes back to when we were living in Pinole for a little bit. She came to East Bay Heritage Quilters to do her thing as a presenter. And the late Janet Shore said, "Why don't you go to San Francisco with us?" And I did. I was a quilter still in diapers, all right? Still in diapers. And Katie, if I recall, had a quilt shop up in Ukiah, the kind of the area the one that's on the water, I think. Anyways, Northern California in the redwoods. And And I don't know if this wasn't one of her first gigs. I mean, I truly don't know, but I will tell you that um, she is, and I was trying to think of anybody else. One of the quilt makers out there that I admire beyond anything because she has grown and changed and changed and changed and changed. And as I present to you her stuff, you'll see that. And then we're going to wrap it up with her special exhibit in Houston. So that's how this whole thing ties together. She I don't work in series, okay? I work like I have some brainstorm and I do it and then I move on to the next. She works in series, and what's interesting about that is when she does work in series, you can see it morphing into the next thing. So, I'm so proud and excited to be able to show you some of this stuff and also to be able to call her my friend. All right, so she's only written a ton of books plus more. And so, for instance, here are some of her books that she has written back, through her history. And she started off with mandala quilt designs, and I don't know which one. Um, oh, I guess the one to the left is Renee Merrill's. So, okay, I'm not talking about Renee, but Katie's are on the right hand is on the right hand side. Look, it's from Dover. That's kind of funny. And then I know she went to C&T. But this was one of her very first quilt, and it's called Cassiopeia, and it's a mandala. Now, a lot of her quilts in the beginning were hand stitched mandala. So, in other words, the quilting, not piecing, the quilting created the mandala. And if I recall, she had a quilt shop up there, and she would quilt when people weren't in her store all day long. I mean, hand quilting. And so I just thought, wow, man, she has got it all together. And she does. Okay, then this next quilt is called Threshold. And this is, I'm taking you way, way, way back. So here she's gone from mandalas to these geometric um, pieces. And I will tell you at the time that this was really avant-garde, really avant-garde. And in fact, I was reading somewhere, I think on our Quiltopedia at thequiltshow.com, that said she'd been quilting 30 years. I'm sure it's more between 40 and 50 at this point years. So this is very striking, very geometric. And then this is called dimensional portal, and I believe it's kind of from the same time frame. You can kind of see her working through her work. And Katie, if you're watching, I super apologize if I'm totally getting the order wrong, but I think I'm telling the same story, the story no matter what. Okay, then this one is called Uno. See, now that reminds me of the threshold one, right? This dimensional stuff that's going on by simply changing what's it called in architecture when you're the perspective. Yeah, I learned how to draw perspective in college. And then throwing the orb in. What, John's what? Why are you in here? Oh, he's going, no, no, no. And I'm like, what am I saying wrong? Portal's the right word, right, John? So now, then I don't know when exactly in the order, but this work of hers just really got me. And it was called, and I think it was, this is Rio Hondo. And I believe this would be called In Her Ghost Layers. And there's a book on that too that you could probably get on Amazon. But look at that. I mean, she's changing, she's morphing, she's changing, she's morphing. And we have been blessed to have her as a teacher. She's taught many, many years at Asilomar. I'm not quite sure what she's doing right now. Okay, here's another one. I think this would be considered a ghost layer quilt too, but I'm not 100%. I found this on her site, which I'll share at the end, which was rich, 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 rich with imagery. I mean, you could spend a half hour there just enjoying her work. And that's like where she lives up there in the redwoods. Okay, then she went through a whole thing with log cabin. All right. And this is called A Rose is a Rose. So you would, this was a class she taught a lot, and it's something actually I wanted to take, but I missed that boat. And you would take some sort of imagery and then change it into log cabin. And somehow, honestly, that makes it less scary. Okay. I want to show you this one. This is, what is the name of this one? It is Autumn. Yeah, right. And I thought it was fascinating to see the photograph to the left and then how she brought it over to the right in those wonky log cabins. You know, Katie is super prolific and she also paints. In fact, doggone it, I have a piece of hers in the family room I didn't get. John, if you want to go grab that piece of Katie's, it's next to Sheila Frampton Cooper's quilt on the wall. It's a little frame thing. I bought it when we were doing her legend show. And then this is called Poco a Poco, which means little by little. So there she goes from things that are more pictorial, but it's still that log cabin. I can handle a log cabin. I can handle a wonky log cabin. But her attention to detail and all that is just freaking amazing. Okay, then this one's called May Dance. And of course, this was not the exhibit. This is, I'm giving you a history so you have an appreciation of how awesome she is. May Dance. Okay, this is getting a lot more geometric and kind of is interesting into segueing in what she is doing now. Oh, Fractured Landscape. Okay, oh, Caroline, you're right. It wasn't Ghost Layers, it was Fractured Landscape. Forgive me. That goes back down to, oh, good grief. This one, Fractured Landscapes. My bad. Look at that. What kind of brain thinks of that? Okay. Okay, then this is Explosion. Thank you for correcting me on that. Thank you. Because, like, I'm the authority, not you guys keep me honest. Thank you, Caroline Doyle. Now, what's interesting here is you can see the dimensionality that was in some of her earlier work. In putting this together, I just was spellbound by creating this particular presentation. Now, where's that coming from? Right? Look at that. Where's that coming from? By the way, that's our landline, of which I never, ever, ever, ever answer it. We just keep it because I won't take my cell phone to bed. Okay, so now let's look at this again. Oh, now let's go to here. Cheers. I think you're probably starting to see why I gush over her so much. And then in her old things, here is Cosmic Collision. This kind of reminds me where we're going now with what her Houston exhibit was. I've got to get my pages together here. Okay. So this was the sign that you saw when you went up, and it told you what the exhibit was going to be about. I lost a page. Oh, good. It always makes me happy. Where's my notes? Okay. I'm letting this on a little bit so you can read. And also, if you want to share this with people, please feel free to, because I think when you have an icon like this in your midst, it's important to look at what she does and how she does it and understand that she is evolving, evolving, evolving. In fact, Ricky and I were talking about that. Man, moss does not grow under her feet. Okay, there's that. So this first piece that was at Houston was called, and by the way, thank you, Mary Kay got me this imagery, so thank you, Mary Kay. I appreciate. This is called Casablanca Lily. And Mary Kay got us some really great close-ups on this. I'm compelled to say nothing just because I'm sitting here enjoying these pieces beyond measure. Look at the shadowing of the stems in the middle. So many people would just throw those stamens, is that what they are, on there and not think about, well, what if the light were coming in? Telling you, she's genius. Okay, this is black and white and green with envy. Okay, something else that I noticed, you can see here that she's working in some sort of grid, all right? And it's very subtle that you can see the lines, the horizontal and vertical lines running through it. And as we look at more of her things, you will see that she uses those lines bolder and bolder and bolder, more boldly. And she quilts her quilts too, people. Here's another close-up. She has a whole series that's black and white. Okay, this is winter solstice that's coming up. The freedom, the freedom. Look at, you've got all these curved, wonderful things, and then it's counter-produced, I guess, for lack of better words, with the horizontal and vertical lines. It gives it structure, it holds it together. When I do quilting, I like to mix geometric lines with soft curved lines, and I would say this is also true in this piecing and in her piecing. So this is winter solstice close up. And she's done some fabric lines that are pretty darn wacky, wonderful. Look at this. She's so prolific. Okay, this is black and white. Oh, I hope this is this one. Blue Moon. Oh, I love this piece. Oh my God, I love this piece. I love this piece 10,000 times over. I don't want to know if I say it's my favorite, but this was at Houston and this is the one that I just kind of beeline to the whole thing. And you can see the lines becoming very, very important. And Paul, you're asking, does she ever sleep? I do not know because that's all I could. I mean, right. I agree with your question. She must. She must. You will love her legend show, you guys. You will love her legend show. Here's another black and white close up. I just find so much joy in this. I can't stand it. Okay, this is Music of the Spheres. And what's interesting is that I can't tell you how, I can't tell you, but this all started with a painting and then it morphed into this. When we were there, we went up, look at a close up and then I'll tell you something. Yeah. When we were at her house, and you will see this on her legend show. You go upstairs, and on one side is her sew room, and on the other side is her painting room. It's quite the setup. Quite the setup. Okay. This is, oh, I just saw that. Black and white and red all over. Look at the lines. And this is what struck me in putting this presentation together. You know, you might look at that quilt and think, well, and kind of look past the lines, but the lines hold it together, in my humble opinion. Like here I am critiquing Katie Pasquini. Shame on me. I love you, Katie lady. And then like the dripping paint, even though I do not believe that's paint. I'm not 100% on that center circle. I'm pretty sure this is all fabric. Okay, this is Graffiti V. Now, I do believe this one does incorporate some painting in it. Can you imagine? Let's just pretend it does, okay? Let's just pretend. Can you imagine piecing that and then just going at it with a paintbrush? No. Back in the day, John wanted me to do a quilt of houses and then graffiti over it. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I cannot do that. Here's a close up. Unbelievable. These are not small puppies either, okay? This is black and white and yellow bees. I believe this is for sale. I don't know if it's still available, but she does sell her pieces, okay? And I have something that John just brought in that I bought when we were taping there for unbelievable cost, cheapo, but her quilts are not, no, unbelievable value. But I have a piece of Katie's. Okay, let's do a close up. You know what strikes me is that we are so lucky and so blessed that so many quilters are doing things completely different all over the world, right? We got people here from all over the world, and it all feeds and grows off of each other. Okay, this is Lotus. That these again were all at her exhibit in Houston. Oh, that doesn't fit in. Yes, it does. Look at that. And you know, when I see something like this too, I do dial into the quilting. Okay, what did she do? What did she do? Oh, you know what? She handled it masterfully. Okay, this is black and white and salmon running through it. Yeah, this one's pretty wonderful too. This is probably, I like this more than the blue one. Maybe. I don't want to do Sophie's choice here. Wow. Paul, I'm going to say what you're saying here because I think it is very important. And that is that her piecing is amazing, but the quilting makes such a difference. And it really does. It does. It takes your quilts to another level, which is why, where's page? Which is why back in the day when people were just like getting these long arms and just throwing things on it, like just doing kidneys on it, it was distressing me because it is so important what the quilting offers to your piece. It's so important. And I mean, I don't have to preach to anybody now because we all know that. I mean, I look at how long armings come in 25 years, right? I do not believe she did not have a long arm in her house. This is all on her domestic. Okay, what's this one? Okay. And then this next one is called Fog. I think it's Fugue. Oh, there are those log cabins. And then we have black and white and violet iris with a couple close-ups. Oh, come on. Oh, there you got your abstract. Fugue. What does fugue mean? Oh, fugue. Fugue. Oh my God, what would I do without John? Here's a close up of fugue. Okay, so in whatever Paul is saying, is that look at the quilting. This is so different than the one we just were showing before. I mean, this is just crosshatch grid. And let me tell you, a wimps can't do that. Trust me. Okay. So Kathy just said fabric manufacturers should produce some fabric printed in her style. It would speed up the time of piecing the top. But then there'd be 25,000 of them running around. So, oh, how do I get rid of this? So, anyways, I hope that you can appreciate Katie Pasquini as I do. Her website is, hold on a second. There we go. Her website is Katie PM, but if you even get on there and just go Katie Pasquini, it will take you. And guys, she sent me a lot of the before ones, but then I went on her site and then filled in. And if I had taken everything on her site, we'd be here for an hour. So I am just so grateful that we have some people here today because again, and that the internet didn't get weird on us because it's being weird today. I wanted to show you my piece when we were there taping the Legend show. And this is painted on canvas. Let me go back. And then she quilted on top of it. Yeah, she works on a Bernina. I can feel the acrylic on it and all that. You know, I don't know how she did this because there's the back. I don't know, but it hangs right next to my Sheila Frampton Cooper piece in our family room. She's so talented. She had a bunch of these, okay? And I'm very honored to own it. How do you find out what is available or for sale? Does she teach class? I would just say go to her website because I do know, again, at Houston, maybe 5 of them were for sale, maybe, and, I mean, this is how she earns her money. As far as she teaching right now, I honestly don't know because as we all know, the pandemic changed everything, and I do know that she's on to another thing okay, that she is onto another thing, and we're hoping to tape a show with her to see what that is. She is fascinating. John said that there are prices on her website for the items that are for sale. And you know what? She is so freaking delightful to hang out with. I mean, she it hasn't worked out in a couple of years, but she and I would go see Libby and love her to pieces. So, okay, I late to the party. Yes, you're going to want to go watch this, MJ. This is one that people need to see because and you need to see her Legend show. Again, I had it written down somewhere here. Uh 2016. And you'll be very envious of where she lives too. It's really quite wonderful. She has very quiet neighbors. That's all I'm going to say. So, aloha. I will not be here next Monday. Um, I'll miss you, but then I'll be back. And again, I have come up with something that we can piece starting probably in January, February that I'm so excited about. I can't stand it. I got my Bernina back from the hospital and she's in very good shape. That's a little funny story. I called up Dublin Sewing Center and they'd had it for like 2 months. And I said, um, by any chance, is my machine ready? I mean, I told you I wasn't in a hurry, but by any chance? Oh, yeah, it had been ready for 6 weeks. Oh, they called my house phone. I don't answer my house phone. If you have my number, 447, whatever, I'm not going to answer it because we just don't, because it's all those crazy telemarketers. All right. Please, please, please share this. And I look forward. The other thing I wanna say again is you wanna watch this week's show too. I mean, it's, like, so good. So, take care, we're at thequiltshow.com, and, yeah, that's it, man. Come on, pineapple. Bye-bye.